In this episode, I'll share with you some of my biggest insecurities and how I came to overcome them. Gratitude Thursdays. Maria on the mic. Yo. Gratitude galore. That is how we roll. Yo. Grateful for all, even when it's small. Yo. Blessings some more. Gratitude in store. Yo. Gratitude galore. Welcome aboard. Yo. Welcome aboard. Hey, gratitude buddies. It's your girl Maria back with another episode. And if this is your first time here, welcome to our little family. This is the Gratitude Galore pod where we learn about gratitude and practical ways to apply it into our lives. Now, one of the ways that we can show gratitude for ourselves is addressing our insecurities. And insecurities are basically feeling that we are not good enough or seeing there's something wrong with us or other people are seeing something wrong with us. And today the main focus is understanding insecurities. I'll also be sharing some of the insecurities I've had growing up and how I've overcome them. So it's just basically I'm just living to my promise that this podcast will be a safe space, because I feel that I also need a safe space to express myself, and this is part of me doing it. Yeah, this is part of me doing it. So let's go through insecurity. When I hear the term insecurities, I begin to question myself a lot, because that's something that I knew I had, but I couldn't really call it insecurities. I just used to say I'm not good enough, or there's something wrong with me, or I can never do this. And I remember my insecurities began long time ago. I let's say during childhood, the ones that I really remember well. My first insecurity was bedwetting. I used to be a chronic bedwetter, and it really used to get to me so bad. From childhood, I remember I used to bedwet from childhood, but the more the more I grew up, the more I experienced life, it really became an issue for me, because I'm a firstborn, and my younger sister, my younger brother, they weren't bedwetting. I was the only one doing it, so it really took away my self-esteem, and I was really insecure about it, to the point that when I air my mattress, I was so embarrassed. I used to feel that I'm not good enough because I'm a bedwetter, and it really affected my mental health, and it really defined me for the longest time, because I remember even in high school I used to still bedwet, and it really affected my confidence, my self-esteem, and how I interacted with people, because I used to think that when someone interacts with me, they are mainly doing it. No, they are seeing they at the back of my mind, they're like, oh, she's a bedwetter. Oh, she wets her bed. Yeah. And it really got to me, to the point that I used to fear that I would get married and and I would be bedwetting on my husband. And yeah, that insecurity really got to me. Another insecurity that I had is my forehead, or should I call it a fifth head? Yeah, so I used to think that my forehead is above normal. Its size is just too big. It's not the recommended forehead. It's not the beautiful forehead. And I used to try so much to ignore my forehead, but you can't ignore it. I remember before I had locks, when I used to have hair and I plait, you see how the head, like, it somehow you're like pulled back. So when when I have new braids, I used to feel like my forehead is shouting so much that when I talk to someone, all they can see is my forehead. And one thing that exaggerated this insecurity was comments from people. I remember this relative that used to comment, "Oh, you have such a big forehead," and I used to think, "Oh my God, now I'm I'm really not beautiful because my forehead is too big. And I some friends, not really friends, I'll call them acquaintances, used to make some comment, oh, that forehead, that fifth head. And the biggest the thing that got to me is that the thing that made me realize that this is actually an insecurity is because while I was in campus, those that know me from campus know that when I was in campus, I got a fringe. My locks, I used to cut them here so they would conceal my forehead so that no one would see my forehead. And I did that for a while until I came to realize that there's nothing I can really change about it. So the forehead insecurity was really there for a long time, and it is only recently that I've been able to get over it and really accept myself. Now, the third and final insecurity that I'm willing to share. I'm not saying there aren't others, but that's the third and the final one that I'm willing to share. The insecurity is about my body, and it's basically I have hip dips. For those who don't know hip dips, you see like the way a body is like, let me just give an example of a female body. You see the way like it's like this, the hip area is just curvy. So there's this other breed, or there's this other body type where the instead of that curvy there's some dips there, and then you get I hope you do. So I used to be so insecure about my hip dips, and I used to think that I'm really not beautiful because I have hip dips. I used to look at other females that do not have hip dips, and I'm like, I wish I was like them. I wish my hips were like that. And this is one of the this insecurity. I think it mainly developed in high school during adolescence, where we were beginning to know ourselves, know our bodies. And I realized that, oh, my body is not like, the hips are not broadening like I thought they would. Like we were taught that the hips should broaden. So it was really a very big insecurity for me. And it affected me, I think, all the way through campus, through high school. But it really got worse in campus, because I used to think that I'm not pretty, that my body is not lovely, that it's not beautiful. And so talking about it makes me feel like, damn, I was so harsh on myself. Yeah, but basically, those are my three biggest insecurities that I've managed to overcome. And those are not the only ones. I have others, only that the others I'm struggling with them. I've not yet overcome them. So the ones that I've overcome are those three. And this is how I overcame all my insecurities. I began to appreciate myself. But I'll be honest with you, the main factor that made me really get over them is learning about myself, and going through counseling, and talking to someone who understood me and who pinpointed that these are insecurities. And I'll just go through the I'll say bedwetting. I got over it because I stopped bedwetting. Yeah, that thing contributed to me getting over it, because when I stopped bedwetting, it really stopped affecting me. But I realized that it was that factor still defined me to some extent. So I had going through counseling, talking to my counselor about it, really helped me to just love myself with that bedwetting past and everything. And I've come to realize that insecurities are not really real in the real sense. They're really in our minds most of the times, because let's say something like my forehead. Right now when I look at it, yes, it's big. But there's actually nothing wrong with it. It's actually beautiful. It makes me lovely. okay, let's say there are options. I can go for surgery and maybe reduce the forehead labda to here, get hair implant. But the level of, when I understood that the problem was not me having a big forehead, but the problem was the people that were telling me, oh, you have a big forehead, is then I began to love my forehead and appreciate it and love it and show it off. Like right now, you can never find me in a fringe. I love the style. I can do it once in a while, but cutting my locks for it, no, I will never ever do that. I just appreciate my head, my fifth head, and wear it proudly. So, one thing is understanding that these insecurities, they mainly come from someone saying something to us. For example, me hating my body was from maybe a relative saying, "Ah, you have such a bad body. You've not developed well." Such comments. And looking back, it makes me realize that I was really not the problem. My forehead was not the problem. My bedwetting was not the problem. My body, my hip dips are not the problem. That the problem is that the people that I was listening to or that I was associating with, they used to express their insecurities on me, or they used to dump their disappointments on me, to the point that I think, oh, I'm not really pretty. And maybe the person who made the comment was just feeling low about themselves, so they were like, oh, let me find someone else to to bring down so that we can all be in the low vibration. So realizing that really helped me get over my insecurities and learn that it's really all in my head, and it really starts with me. And overcoming all these insecurities, all the things that we hate about ourselves, it really takes understanding that the person who said that my body is not beautiful, the person who said that I have big teeth, the person who said that I have big eyes, was really going through some things that are not associated with me, that are not related with me, that is just their own issues, and that does not determine how I feel about myself. So one part of overcoming insecurities is really forming that deep bond with yourself and loving yourself with all your flaws. Because, okay, let's say I know I have hip dips. I know I cannot change unless I go for surgery. So if I don't want to go for surgery, if I'm not willing to go through that path, why not just love myself? Why not just appreciate myself the way I am and see the insecurities disappear? Because trust me, buddies, like no one gets out of the house in the morning and they're like, today I'll wait and see a girl in an ugly dress and tell her how ugly she looks. No, everyone just is going through their own issues, and when someone points something about an insecure comment that or when someone says a comment that brings out our insecurity, you should take some time and analyze and understand, this person does not even know me. They don't know what I've been through. Maybe they're just going through their own things. That's why they've just seen a scapegoat to dump their insecurities on. So understanding that insecurities are in our minds most of the time is really important, and it will help us to overcome them. So why did I share all this? Why did I give you my story? Well, I wanted to talk to you there who's feeling so insecure about yourself, about your body, about your life, about all the things that you do. I just want to share with you and tell you that you're not alone. Maybe there's someone who feels their forehead is too big. It's not big. It's perfect. It's perfect the way it is. Maybe there's still someone who bedwets. There's nothing wrong with you. Maybe there's someone who has hip dips and they hate them. I just want to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. And I also want to invite you, as my listener, as my loyal listener, I want to invite you to share your insecurities the things that you hate about yourself, whether you have overcome them or not, it doesn't really matter. Just share them. I want this to be a safe space where we can all share, we can all overcome things together, and then learn how to be grateful for ourselves and learn how to appreciate ourselves and be our number one supporters. So basically, if we want to overcome our insecurities, let's just understand that people are going through their own things, and then we begin to love ourselves internally from in to towards outside. So everything that you may hate about yourself is what makes you beautiful, is what makes you handsome, and it's what makes you you. And I think that's all that matters, right? And today, the gratitude activity that I want us to engage in is just acknowledging our insecurities, just thinking deep about them, and then understanding where do they come from. I believe that is necessary to help us understand if they are really real or they're just some things we've accumulated, some things we've misunderstood over the years that have made us think, oh, we're not beautiful, we're not handsome. So this week the activity is quite simple, because you might wonder, why is it a gratitude activity? Well, it's about appreciating ourselves. And how do we appreciate ourselves? By dealing with the things that really hurt us or that make us feel unworthy and stuff. So when we analyze our insecurities and we analyze where they're coming from, it will be easier for us to deal with them and to cancel them. Because, for example, if I learn that it's my bully who was telling me I have big eyes, and then you realize there's no one else who has ever told you you have big eyes that are unattractive, then you'll come to realize, oh, then maybe I don't have bad eyes. I'm not saying big eyes are bad, but I'm just saying these are the things that people use to point out insecurity. They say things like, your eyes are extremely big, and you're like, at least I can see. Anyway, yeah, so this activity will help us to analyze our insecurities and where they come from, and to see if they are genuine or not. And as long as we cannot do anything about them, the insecurities that we have, the best thing is just appreciating ourselves and loving ourselves with them, and just feeling confident with that fifth head, walking with it confidently, like you're the queen, like you're the king of this world. Anyway, I'm so glad you could tune in until the end, buddies. And that's just basically it. Remember, I'm waiting for you to share your stories with me, to share your insecurities with me. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Gratitude Galopod, on TikTok at Gratitude Galopod, and on WhatsApp, I'll give you the number and I'll still write it down here. So the number is +254 748 683797. I'll repeat the number again. +254 +254 748 683797. So make sure you reach out to me, and I'll play the clips you send me, the messages you send me. I'll play them in the next episode, so that we can share with others about our insecurities and let them know that you're not alone. We're dealing with this, all of us together. And I want to wish you a lovely week filled with love and gratitude. And until next week, gratitude buddies. Bye bye.